one mutation in one gene makes
Incredible.
these two. These are two girls.
I think there's a tremendous stigma attached to obesity, and I think it's unfair. I think that the reason that it stigmatizes, people imagine that it's the fault of the obese people that they are that way. And the genetics tells us that's not the case, that these people have genetic differences that lead them to weigh more in the same way that other people might have genetic differences that make them taller or shorter. And one of the most powerful genes that can regulate body weight encodes a hormone named leptin. Leptin is a hormone made in fat tissue in proportion to its mass. So if you have more fat, you make more leptin. If you have less fat, you make less leptin. And the leptin is released into the blood. And in a sense, what the hormone is doing is reporting to your brain how much fat tissue you have, whether it's increased or decreased or at the right level. Leptin then circulates in the blood and acts on nerve cells in the brain that regulate appetite. If your fat mass goes up, leptin goes up, and it activates neural pathways in the brain that decrease food intake. Conversely, if you lose weight, leptin levels go down, circulate in the blood, and stimulate nerve pathways that increase food intake. There are a lot of voices in obesity, and in contrast to other fields of science, everyone has such an intimate personal relationship with food and eating and dieting and exercise. The diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they have a very strong economic incentive to argue that all you have to do is take my diet and you'll lose weight, even if the science doesn't necessarily back it up. Similarly, I think drug companies have been helping to create a bit of a panic about obesity, because if one creates an environment where there is urgency, then it creates an environment where drug approvals might get easier. I'll point out that the recommendation that for weight loss that some people often provide, which is to eat less and exercise more, was first proposed by Hippocrates 2,000 years ago, or more than 2,000 years ago. And I'd like to think that modern science can do better than simply repeat a recommendation that's more than 2,000 years old and that isn't any more effective now over the long term than it was then.